Hello, everybody. My name is Zerduku, and welcome back to Zap Entertainment. Uh, my friend sent me his book this time around, and since I'm not going to be very good at reading, I'm going to use this program. I'm going to call uh, Byakugan because I don't know how to pronounce it. You can probably see it in the corner screen. Actually, you know what? How about I just uh type it out for you guys so you guys can read it yourselves. And my typing is very, very slow, just to let you guys know. It's BLKA, and that's it. So, this is the program that's going to be reading me stuff. And all I have to do is this
Balabolka.
Balaboga. What kind of a fucking name is that? Regardless, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna remember that, but it doesn't really matter. But anyways, Gun Kid sent me his book here, and as you can see, it's really hard to see and hard to read because he doesn't understand the concept of resolution. But that's okay because it doesn't really matter. Like I said, we're gonna have uh, Byakugan read it for us and stuff, and I'm gonna when I'm done with this book. I am going to voice my opinion because that's actually what I would like you guys to do when I do my books is I want you guys to voice your opinion whether it's good or bad. So also another thing there, kid, I am going to judge it the way I feel, and I'm also going to put my opinion down in the comments below with anything I might forget to say during the video because that's just how the human brain works. All right, so let's get started. Enough jibber jabber. I'm gonna go. Yeah, let's go. uh, I guess I'll go this far and then copy and paste. Give me a sec. Here we go.
Sink or swim. Part 1. No time to think. How the fuck is this happening? A chunk of a building is blasted off by a blue bolt. Bits of bricks and wood fall to the ground, splintering and smashing on impact. Shards of glass fall from the destroyed windows. I'm dreaming, yeah that's it, I'm in some sort of hardcore lucid dream. Distance blasts echoes around the city. I can also hear screams. And the occasional gunshots.
I feel like even if it's something that seems impossible, if it's happening in front of you, yeah, it will be the first thing you think is it might be a dream, within but after that second is over, reality sets in real quick.
Shots. The surrounding area reminds me of a battlefield. Okay, this starting to feel like a nightmare. I'm hiding behind a large piece of metal. Probably blown off by those blue lasers. Energy bolts. A car across the street is struck by a blue blast, erupting into a fiery red and blue inferno. I ducked my head back behind my metal cover. Okay, my ears are ringing and I'm still here. The idea of this being a dream is out the door. A
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
sound overhead grabbed my attention. I looked up and saw a massive vortex. And I can see things flying out of it. It looks like. Is that a flying fucking chariot? Indeed, that is a flying chariot. It's a blue flying chariot, and the rider looks like a. Wait. What were those aliens in the Avengers called again? Shade, Kite. It had Yuri in it. Shaturai. Chitauri. Yeah, Chitauri. That sounds right.
My friend told me that this is just a fan made book, and I don't know, man. I think it's because I seen so many freaking dang on like remakes and stuff that it's gotten kind of stale to me, so that's why I'm just not really impressed right now. That's all. I just get sick and tired of all the sequels and shit. I don't see what's the point with all. Yeah. Why do you write like that? That's weird.
Hold on. Chitauri, battlefield. Am I in New York City? And in the movie that city was invaded by the Chitauri.
I thought I thought it was just like he was writing like just a normal guy that just so happened to be in New York City during the Avengers attack. Did this guy just teleport there? What's going on? All right, time to find out. Pretty darn sure it's probably nothing all that impressive. Probably not.
Okay, new idea, I've gone mad. A cry snapped me from my spiraling. Looking over my makeshift cover, I see what seems to be a woman holding onto a bundle in her arms, running, trying to find a place to hide. And her scream didn't just gain my attention. Heavy metallic thuds approach with alarming speed. Then a bolt of blue energy flies through the air. Thankfully, it missed her, impacting the wall she had just run past. She gave a frantic cry of terror. She's desperately trying to escape from her assailant. Her alien pursuer let out an animalistic snarl of frustration. I can't just sit back and do nothing. I have to do something. I started to look around me, trying to find anything that could be used as a weapon. All I could see were crumpled bricks, jagged bits of metal and wood fragments. I can hear her running towards my cover. My eyes land on a lead pipe buried under some debris. I scrambled over, grabbed the pipe and pulled. It won't budge.
Just wanna. I'm not 100% sure if you guys can hear what it's reading to me, but whatever. Uh, but according to this, according to my desktop audio, it says it's on, so I'm just gonna assume. Maybe I'll watch the video a little bit later, but well, I figured that it's a good idea to show the audience that this character is a hero character. So something tells me he's gonna try to save her. I
I
bet.
yanked again harder, but it still won't give. Another cry echoes out around me. A baby's wail. I put all my strength into another pull. A metallic clink sound rewarded my efforts. The pipe is now in my hands. Well, half of it. The pipe broke in half. The tip of the pipe is now a makeshift spear. The sharp end looks like a kitchen knife. Just more jagged.
Well, that's a decent weapon. Alrighty. I don't know what this line here is for, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I think this might be a glitch in the. Uh, well, he sent me as a file, and I opened it with my Open Office. And I don't know.
I can hear the chase drawing closer. Heart beating a mile a minute, adrenaline kicking in, mind racing. The lady ran past my cover. No backing out now. Time to strike.
Ah, fuck! I hate it when it does that, where it leaves one letter out, and it's really hard to tell because the letters are so small.
The Chitauri was taking aim with its blaster. Sights set on the human's back. Intent to kill this pathetic life form. Until it walked past a piece of rubble. I let out a shout, then lunged, stabbing the alien in the side with the makeshift spear. Purple blood oozed out of the wound, coated the pipe and covering my hands.
I would like to. It would be awesome if I could get Lily's speech to do ooze right, and I can never get it to do right. So I'm glad that he used that word enable. Well, he types it himself, so he doesn't have to worry with dealing with, like, like speech programs like I do. My typing is so bad, and his is so much better than mine. So he's lucky. I'm just saying that he's lucky that he's able to read and write, and I can't.
Hands. The Chitauri let out a cry of pain. Its shot went wild, missing the mother. I didn't stop my assault. Holding onto my weapon, I shoved it farther into its side, tackling it off its feet. Both of us tumbling over a mound of rubble. I landed on my back, hard on the ground.
Wait, what happened? Sorry. I'm gonna go
I
back.
let out a shout, then lunged, stabbing the alien in the side with the makeshift spear. Purple blood oozed out of the wound, coated the pipe and covering my hands. The Chitauri let out a cry of pain. Its shot went wild, missing the mother. I didn't stop my assault. Holding onto my weapon, I shoved it farther into its side, tackling it off its feet. Both of us tumbling over a mound of rubble. I landed on my back, hard on the ground. My head was spinning, and my limbs were hurting. An animalistic snarl snapped me out of my vertigo. I refocused. Rolling onto my stomach, rising to get to my feet. Setting my eyes on my opponent. The Chitauri seemed to have lost its blaster, which is good. It tore my spear out of its side and tossed it far away, which is not good. And I've lost my weapon. It let out another snarl, its eyes glaring at me. Ah crap.
This is just silly. I feel like this is some sort of like sci-fi comedy almost.
Part 2, here we go. I'll honest. I'm terrified right now. Staring at a frickin' alien from a fictional franchise that I just stabbed in the side. If its glare could kill, I wouldn't be standing. I don't know where that lady went. Hopefully, she found a safe place to hide. The Chitauri lunged at me. I snapped out of my thoughts, a startled cry escaping my throat as I dived out of its path. My opponent hit a piece of rubble. Snarling in rage, it rose from its missed attack and quickly began throwing a flurry of punches at me. I pivoted backwards, ducking and weaving to avoid its frenzied assault. It swung a fist aimed at my head. Ducking under its swing, I noticed the stab wound I had given it. Purple blood was flowing and streaming down. An idea came to my mind.
Ducking and dodging. There's uh it's not really a song. It's basically a musical thing, where it's just music. It's from I think it's called Mario, yeah, from the Mario Party. Where there's actually a theme called Ducking and Dodging. It's the music in it is just hilarious, and that's all I could think of in that situation. If I would, if I could play it without being flagged, I would.
Maybe I can outlast it? If it keeps bleeding, it will take itself out. With a plan in mind, I just need to bleed it to death or find another way to end this fight. I balled my fist and threw a punch at the wound. Purple blood stained my hands. Its whole body jerked back, flinching. A strangled cry of pain came from its throat. I didn't even try to hold back a smirk. I can do this. I can beat this thing. The smirk was wiped off my face when it delivered a surprise punch to my chest, knocking the air from my lungs. It grabbed my shirt, roared in my face, and then threw me through the air. I smashed through a building's window. Glass shattered, falling with me as I landed on the floor of a convenience store.
Conveniently
Propping
convenient
myself
convenience.
up on my arms, I let out a painful groan. I can maybe do this.
Uh, you know, you can't. I don't know where you get the idea you think you can just hand fight a frickin' dang gun alien, honestly, to tell you the truth. This is a time when you want to find another weapon or something. Also, guys, I'm gonna take as long as I need to finish this. This video might be long. I apologize.
The Chitauri gave a metallic huff. It held back a groan. The wound continued to send waves of pain across its body after the insect had struck it. Shaking its head, it was about to start searching for its weapon and continue the hunt for more of these insects. Until a ken struck the back of its head. Yo, E.T. Letting out a feral snarl as it spun around. The human thought to be dead is still alive. I'm not dead, split lip. The Chitauri forgot about its weapon and the other prey. It wanted to see this vermin dead.
I feel like I might have skipped a spot, perhaps. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so. All right, so just to let you guys know, uh, the whole idea of me just doing a long video wasn't something I just made up halfway through. I actually planned ahead. I just forgot to mention it in the beginning of this video because I'm an idiot. Itty dum 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 dum. Who the fuck is Apple Maplethorpe? Okay, let's continue on, shall we? My lip itches.
Great, Dylan, you got its attention. Now what? The alien began sprinting towards me. Run, yeah, running sounds like a good idea. The moment I left my spot, the alien dived, cannonballed through the shattered window, impacting face first into a shelf, toppling it over. I couldn't help but laugh at that. It may not seem right for the moment, but it was funny seeing the alien that threw me through a window eat shit. For an alien, you aren't very bright, I snark. The Chitauri recovered from its crash and howled in anger. I don't know if it can understand me, but I do know that I'm pissing it off.
A lot of this is not making any sense though, but I guess that's okay. I guess it was just an idea, and he probably didn't think too much about it.
I break into a sprint again, weaving through the shelves. Nothing is more tiring than a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like you're playing a game of Dead by Daylight, actually, which is a game of tag, more or less. Oh, you son of a bitch. Why do you keep doing that? I don't understand why it keeps doing that, where I try to copy and it looks like I got it, and then it just leaves a letter out. You son of a bee.
Crouched by a shelf loaded with non-perishables, hidden from my hunter. Its aggravated growls echo around the store. I can hear it throwing things around and out of its way to find me. I've really pissed off E.T. Another crash echoes.
I really pissed off ET. Oh my god. That one was good.
I've really pissed off E.T. Another crash echoes, followed by another growl. It wants me dead. I can hear its breath getting shallower, I think. Hopefully, it is. No weapons around me. Well, if you can call a tins of fruits and vegetables a weapon. The worst part of playing cat and mouse is when the mouse gets cornered. Come on, Dylan, think of something. Don't get trapped in an aisle. Wait, trap. I looked at the shelf I was hiding behind. It could topple over. And pin the alien. I grabbed a can of peas and waited. It may not be a weapon, but it could be a good distraction.
Not a bad idea. We're gonna go about. I'm gonna go about that far because I don't want to make it too hard for me to keep track of where I am.
The Chitori's wrath grows with each passing second. This vermin, this pest. It will be so satisfying to squeeze the life from its pathetic existence. Stalking around the rows of metal, searching for its prey. Thrashing anything with the semblance of a human. These flat statues of those bizarre items. One is square, and one holds an object similar to what its new prey threw at it. It felt some satisfaction eviscerating that flimsy statue. If only that human were so easily breakable. Stomping past another row, a sound made it stop and look down. A cylinder is rolling down the aisle. Growling with curiosity, it moved toward the object. Bending down, it grabbed the cylinder. Then, it began inspecting it.
Alrighty, let's see if you actually succeeded, bruh.
Odd inscriptions and a drawing of a human on the label of this canister. The canister is stained with its blood. The Chitori snarled, crushing the canister in its hand. Green liquid and orbs stained its hand and the ground. It tossed the remains to the floor. The alien raised its head, about to let loose a roar, until it heard another noise, this one closer to it. Looking at the shelf, it noticed that the contents on it started to slide to the edge, falling one by one. The row was leaning. The alien's eyes widened as it raised its arms to stop the falling shelf from landing on it. The alien could hold the weight of the shelf. Unfortunately, the scattered cans on the floor caused it to lose its footing. Its balance was lost, its eyes grew wider, it tried to let out a howl of alarm. But it was silenced, pinned beneath the shelf.
Squash. Ah, Scross AT. How about that? Yeah, like I said before, it feels like a sci-fi comedy almost. Ugh.
Holy shit, it worked. I walk around the fallen shelf, amazed that I've actually trapped or killed the Chitori underneath. I stared dumbstruck. Laughter rising from my chest. Woo! I cheered. Triumphant. Dylan 1, Alien 0. When I'm under pressure, I tend to start cracking jokes, it helps me calm down. God, I'm thankful for adrenaline. This was the first time in my life that I've been thrown through a window. Gotta say, not fun.
What did you expect? Alright. Let's see if I can get this.
I turned my head to the left, the front door of the store was covered in rubble. There was no way out from there. The battle outside still rages on. I gulped. Just because I won one battle doesn't mean I'm out of the war happening outside. I looked right. My eyes stopped at a mirror. Finally, I got to see myself. And I look like shit. My black hair is all over the place. Getting thrown through a window will do that. Thankfully, my glasses are still on my face, intact. I have some purple blood on my face here and there. The unzipped gray jacket, its sleeves stained with purple blood, and my hands are also covered in it. Please don't let me get sick from alien blood. Blue shirt with parts of the front torn off. The alien definitely ruined it. Black cargo pants, of course, stained. Bits of glass are still on the legs as well. And lastly, blue shoes. They look remarkably well, all things considered.
I think you should have done that in the description, what your character looks like in the beginning. That's just me.
I huffed. Taking my gaze away from the mirror, I looked at the window I voluntarily entered through and made my way to it. Shoes crunching glass, I stopped to survey the outside. I was speechless. I could see Stark Tower and the vortex above it. I just stood there, motionless, confused, and overwhelmed. Fuck, I don't know. I'm in the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Avengers 2012. I probably don't exist here. I have no identification in this universe, and if I did, it would most likely be my younger self, 12 years old. But I'm 24. My eyes spotted a red blur flying through the sky. My brain stopped. Is that Iron Man? It's hard to tell from here. But if I see a red blur flying around Stark Tower, I'm going to guess that it's Tony. Or it could be Thor. I tore my eyes from the sky. I needed to focus and think of a game plan. I leaned my head out of the window.
Hold on a second. Did you just get pulled into like a TV show, pulled into a movie universe? What the fuck is going on? Makes no sense. I think this is the part of the book that doesn't make any sense to me because it's like he's just like pretending he's inside a movie world or something. I don't get it. It really doesn't make any sense. Unless it's not supposed to, unless it's supposed to be like funny, like, oh, I'm stuck in a beauty universe. I don't know, man.
Looking left, the roads were covered, cars were burning, and buildings were destroyed. My heart grew heavy. This isn't a movie. This is happening. Turning right. The same site. Wait. Lying on the ground, faintly glowing, is the Chitauri blaster. My eyes widened. Can I use that? I had one leg outside. Until I heard a loud engine overhead. Looking up. That's the Quinjet. A roar from behind me startled me. I looked. Oh, shit. It's still alive? The Quinjet's engines drowned out the sound of the Chitauri breaking free from its confines. It was livid. It started a mad sprint toward me. I panicked, falling stomach first on the sidewalk, scrabbling to get away. The gun.
Just in case if you want to know their gun kid, I believe the Sidori's like weapons are like connected to like a hive mind, so basically I don't think you could use it. At least I don't think so.
I hastily made my way to the gun. The alien threw itself from the window, roaring in rage. I grabbed the gun, placing my whole arm inside it, feeling around for a trigger. On the inside of the gun, my hand felt the grip. The trigger is part of the entire grip. This is an alien-designed gun with different ergonomics. I heft the gun in front of me, with my other hand holding it up. The alien didn't care if I had its gun or didn't think I could use it. It lunged, roaring. I pulled the trigger all the way back. A blindingly large blue bolt shot out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that would have worked. But it's his story. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
The last thing I saw of the Chitauri before it was vaporized was its eye changing from blind rage to fear. Purple blood sprayed everywhere. I was sent backwards, landing on my rear. The air was knocked out of me. My eyes were wide, and my face and glasses were covered in purple blood. I took off my glasses, intending to clean them, and lifted the blaster. This is way better than a broken pipe.
Basically took a line from Ash from versus Evil Dead. It's better than a broken bottle, said Pablo. Yeah, this is taking forever. I'm only on page 6. Jesus.
Part 3, Unexpected Reunion. I popped my head around a corner of an alley. Seeing no Chitauri, I dashed forward. The sounds of explosions echoed around the city, the rapid buzzing of flying chariots overhead, and the distant roar of Quinjet's engines. Slowly making my way to the end of the alley, I leaned my head out over the corner. I can see the massive vortex looming over Stark Tower. More and more chariots are flying out. A chill runs down my spine. This isn't a movie. This isn't a dream. This is happening. I gulped. What's my plan? Stay hidden in an alley. I might stay alive until this is over, but then what? I'm still in a universe that I shouldn't be in.
Listen, bruh. I feel like that's irrelevant. Like seriously, like it doesn't matter that you're in a different universe. You're basically in the middle of a freaking war zone. You're the best idea is to get out of the freaking city at that point. Do whatever it takes to get out.
No income, no housing, and nobody knows me. With only my phone, wallet with the little money I have, ID, and the clothes on my back. I shook my head. My spiraling thoughts wouldn't do me any good. Refocusing, I checked again. The sound of chariots overhead, I pull my head back. I'll let them fly past, I don't want to be an easy target. Then I heard an explosion. I blinked, leaned forward, trying to see what. Two chariots were blasted out of the sky, struck midair by missiles. One crashed on the road, erupting in a blue fireball. The other swan dived onto a car, impacting and then erupting into a blazing blue and red explosion. The man responsible for the double air takedown rocketed through the sky, thrusters burning, rising over the buildings and back into the battle above. Holy shit, I breathed. The fanboy in me couldn't help but be giddy seeing Iron Man take out some villains and rocket away. Now is not the time or place for this. Focus now, fanboy later. I was about to psych myself up, getting ready to make a break for the streets. Until a muffled cry startled me.
I guess it would be kind of cool to see the Avengers, taking out enemies. But at the same time, though, yeah, I would be there. You know what? I remember when I was younger, I actually kind of imagined myself something similar with this, but not with the Avengers. But I'll talk about that later, since I don't want to, waste everybody else's time. Maybe I'll put it. Maybe I'll talk about it in the description below, or I'll talk about it at the end of this book.
I whirled around, searching for the source.
If I
Across
remember.
the alley, a half-open metal door was on one side of the other building. My mind recognized the sound. My stomach dropped. That's an infant's cry.
Did I skip ahead? I hope I didn't. Yeah, where the fuck am I? I lost track where I was. Oh, okay, yeah. Woo! Hey! You know what? How about I know I'm doing this. I know we already read this, but I'm just gonna go back a little bit. All right. I'm gonna stop there. There we go. There.
Holy shit, I breathed. The fanboy in me couldn't help but be giddy seeing Iron Man take out some villains and rocket away. Now is not the time or place for this. Focus now, fanboy later.
Fair enough.
I was about to psych myself up, getting ready to make a break for the streets. Until a muffled cry startled me. I whirled around, searching for the source. Across the alley, a half-open metal door was on one side of the other building. My mind recognized the sound. My stomach dropped. That's an infant's cry. I nudged the door open. Swinging inward. Hello. I whispered. My voice faintly echoed in the room. Distant explosions echoed across the city. I craned my neck over my shoulder. The roar of the explosions traveled around the buildings, causing the room to reverberate. I looked at the exit of the alley, back to the doorway, then back to the alley. I closed my eyes. My breath quickened. What am I doing? I'm not a hero. I should be running away, finding some place to hide. I shook my head, dispelling those thoughts. But how could I live with myself if I just sat back and did nothing? Heart racing, holding the blaster close, I crept forward.
Yeah, I feel you there, bro. I would, if there's a freaking baby in here, you might want to try to save it because it can't really defend itself. All right.
The interior looks like an office. Cubicles are on the left and right. Office supplies are scattered haphazardly. This is the aftermath of evacuation. I can't blame them. Hopefully, everybody got out safe. The room is lit by the sunlight through the windows. It seems the lights on the ceiling aren't working. Another sound came to my ears, frantic shushing. Someone's still here. Hello. I whispered again, slightly louder. I'm not an alien. I heard a muffled baby's whine. I turned to look at the cubicle 2 rows down. Are you okay? I spoke louder. I'm not an alien, I'm here to help. Can I help? What can I do? I walked slowly to the cubicle, lowering the blaster, not wanting to scare whoever was in there. The muffled cries were now louder.
There's a little too much suspense there, bro.
I'm coming closer, I'm not gonna hurt you. I said softly. Finally nearing the cubicle. I knelt forward. Huddled in the corner is a woman, wait. It's her. The mother. I finally got a good look at her. Long black hair, face a mess of running mascara, ripped purple dress shirt, blue jeans, and red shoes. She's huddled in a corner, shielding the bundle in her arms with her body, her eyes looked back at me, filled with terror. Her hands are covering the baby's mouth, trying to muffle the baby's wails. Her whole body is trembling. Her breathing is rapid. My heart tightened. Kneeling on the floor, I remove the blaster from my hand and place it on the ground.
not really much to say.
Hey. I spoke softly and slowly to allay her fears. I raised both hands in front of me, in full view for her to see. I inwardly cringed at the dried purple blood on my hands. Her eyes followed my every move. I'm not here to hurt you. Her breathing slowly began to calm down. She slowly removed her hand from the infant's mouth, moved the infant in front of her, and gently shook the child to soothe them. She slowly shuffled closer to me. I stayed where I am. Her eyes furrowed at me, then widened in surprise. I reached my hand out to her. Are you dash it's you?
I don't know what's with the dash. I had no idea what was that about.
I blinked, caught off guard. I was about to speak, until I was wrapped in a one-armed hug. You're alive. I couldn't hide the surprise from my face. Her head was in the crook of my neck, her body shaking in the surprise embrace. Unsure of what to do, I wrapped my arms around her, trying to provide some comfort. Then her words registered in my ears. Did she see me attack that chit Ori back at that store?
Is it? Oh, it must have been the same girl. Okay, well, that makes sense.
A scream flew from my lips as I desperately fled from the monster behind me. A fiery blue bolt missed my head. I could feel the heat of it as it flew.
Wait, what? I'm just gonna go that far because I want to make sure I'm in the right spot.
I blinked, caught off guard. I was about to speak, until I was wrapped in a one-armed hug. You're alive. I couldn't hide the surprise from my face. Her head was in the crook of my neck, her body shaking in the surprise embrace. Unsure of what to do, I wrapped my arms around her, trying to provide some comfort. Then her words registered in my ears. Did she see me attack that chit Ori back at that store? A scream flew from my lips as I desperately fled from the monster behind me.
Okay, so basically, the okay.
A fiery blue bolt missed my head. I could feel the heat of it as it flew by me. I held my child close as I ran, the little one cried, confused and frightened. I need to get away from this thing, this monster. For me and my child's sake. Where are the police? Where is the National Guard? Where are they? The beast let loose a violent snarl. Fear gripped my heart as I continued to run. This monster is relentless. I ran past a chunk of debris. Then, a cry of fury and a howl of pain surprised me. I took a risk to see what had happened behind me. A young man stabs that thing with a spear, then tackles the monster over a rubble mound. Shocked by the unexpected help, I stood there for a moment, catching my breath. I wanted to help, but I need to find a safe place for my baby. I said a silent prayer of thanks for whoever that I ran. Hopefully he's still alive.
Oh, I wasn't very clear. So basically, we were going through the eyes of the lady he saved. Gotcha. You should have done better with it, trying to explain it. But it's hard to do those things. It really is. I've been there before. Trying to explain like what do you call a flashback? Or you going through the other character's eyes, How do you do that? And writing. How?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, she said rapidly. She clung to me like a lifeline. I looked around awkwardly. She pulled back, letting me out of the one-armed hug. Letting go as well. I looked at the bundle in her arms. The little guy calmed down. That's good. Roars of distant explosions reverberated through the room. These two can't stay here. My mind went into overdrive, trying to remember details from the movie that could help. I know this isn't a movie, but if it plays out similarly to the movie, maybe I can use that knowledge to my advantage.
I was thinking about that before, but it's kind of funny that I didn't think about that until you mentioned it. So, goes to show how intelligent I am. uh, you know, I don't know what to make of this. For some reason, this makes me think of like Monster Maker. Alex, maybe I'll watch that movie with you later, there, Gun Kid. But before I go on, I will mention that Monster Maker is kind of like Goosebumps in a way. But regardless, though, time for me to do. I think that's good. There, I think. Yo, I have no fucking idea, guys.
How did you escape? I looked back at the little guy's mother. I turned my head to my acquired blaster. I did something else. She followed my gaze. Her eyes widened. You killed it? She gasped. Rubbing the back of my head, I nodded. Yeah, it took a while. I started. This helped me end it? I pulled the blaster to me. I'm still racking my brain for anything that could help us. The piece was broken by the glass windows of the building shattering. I quickly put my hand back inside the blaster. My heart was racing. The woman screamed, holding the child close to her chest. The little one was frightened. I stood up quickly and urgently held my hand out to the woman. Come on, it's not safe here anymore. She stared at me for a moment. Then she grabbed my hand. I pulled her behind me and rushed for the door I had entered. Where are we going? She asked me. To the outskirts, I thought. I need to get her far from the vortex, far from the battle. I stopped us by the doorway. Outskirts. I spoke my plan. We need to get to the outskirts of the city. Maybe the police or National Guard have set up defensive perimeters. She looked at me, contemplating the plan. She nodded. I looked outside to the streets. We'll stick to the alleys, I continued. It's dangerous to stay in the streets for too long. She nodded again.
Actually, you know what? I kind of mentioned that before. Like, if you could, like, just escape the city, maybe you can, get away from the battle. But regardless, though, when when you get like when you said when you had handed the hand to her, the only thing I can think of is from like Terminator, uh, come with me if you want to live. Oh, I think I just hit. Huh.
All right, okay. I nodded. What's your name? I blinked. She asked my name. Dylan. It's Dylan. I answered. Yours. Julie. She looked at her child. And this is Abby. Okay, little guy to little girl. I'll do my best to keep you two safe.
That name
I
sounds
promised.
familiar.
Julie gave me a soft smile and gave my hand a tight squeeze. Thank you.
Well, that looks like the end of it. All right, I want to talk about uh what I was going to mention before. When I want to see if I'm actually recording. Am I recording? Yeah. Oh man, 15. Oh, it's almost an hour. Well, like I said, this video is going to be long. I remember a long time ago, I thought of a story where me and my family were trapped on Monster Island from uh, the son of Godzilla. Yeah, son of Godzilla, basically. Because in my middle school years when I was a teenager, I was a huge Godzilla fan because that's when I started watching, the older Godzilla films. And I had that idea, and I actually written that idea as a school project for my teacher at the time, and they basically just said, "What is all this that you're writing here? This is we wanted you to tell you what would be your best day, not some just long freaking novel, fan fiction novel." And so as a result, I kind of threw it away. But thinking about the story, I have like many different questions. Like, did you like get so how the hell did you get pulled? Is this like a some sort of it's obviously not a dream or a nightmare, so I'm guessing something must have pulled you in. This has something to do with the Infinity Stones, perhaps, because the Infinity Stones destroy all reality and shit. Because of that, I'm surprised he didn't add me to the story. Like me just suddenly just drop out of nowhere. But I guess he probably wouldn't know what I would do in his situation, perhaps, is probably why he didn't do that. Yeah, I would probably think like the whole concept of, thinking all this is fake is like irrelevant. The whole idea is like, oh, this is like me like not existing in the world. That's irrelevant, dude. It doesn't matter if you don't exist in this world. You're if you don't get out of the city, you're not going to have time to think about that stuff. You're going to die. So the best thing to do is just to try to get away from the battle, as far from the battle as possible. Now, I'm guessing that the Gun Kid doesn't really remember the movie, perhaps, because like me, he has a memory of a goldfish. But I do remember that there was a part where they actually where uh, the United Nations portrayed Nick Fury and tried to launch a nuke at the city. But what happened was that Iron Man took the nuke and used it to destroy the mothership, which ultimately killed all the Sidori. I'm actually it would be a serious problem if you run into Loki, because you ain't winning that battle, bro. You be fucked. Um, but I do have to voice my opinion about doing a fan fiction like this. I mean, it's gotten kind of stale where fan fiction is basically everywhere. Sequels are everywhere. It's gotten to the point where it's kind of stupid, and that's why I decided to try to make up my own stories. And yes, a lot of my stories are based off of like other content that I've watched, but I tried to add some sort of twist to it to make it different. Because the way I look at it is kind of like uh, movies and other story elements are kind of like ingredients. You mix them together and try to cook something to make something different. And that's what I tried to do. Here, it just feels like Control Alt Delete. Oh no, control copy, basically. You're basically just freaking taking something and just copying some other idea, and then just taking the idea, putting yourself inside of a movie world. I feel like that has been done so many times, and a lot of the times it hasn't been done right. But at least here, it feels more threatening than Monster Maker. Monster Maker didn't feel that threatening to me the way that that movie was made, honestly, to tell you the truth. So it's better than that. I'll give it that. But I just don't. know what to make of this. It feels I know that it's not finished, but it has enough content when it you put when you to actually get a feel what it's going to be like. It feels like a comedy science fiction, and and those are not bad sometimes, but sometimes they can be a little bit cringing. This one wasn't really cringing, which is great. So I don't know what to make of this. Maybe I'll leave my actual opinion in the comments below. So please like and subscribe. And this is Zertuku signing out.